The afternoon sun burned across the marble driveway of the Hawthorne estate, making the polished hood of the vintage Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud shine like a mirror. Guests in expensive suits and silk dresses moved between white columns, laughing over champagne. At the far edge of the driveway, however, everything had stopped. The Rolls-Royce refused to start. "Again," said Evelyn Hawthorne, her voice sharp with impatience. The chauffeur turned the key. The engine coughed once, then died. Silence. Evelyn, known in the city for her wealth and impossible standards, adjusted her pearl necklace and frowned. "Unbelievable. I have investors arriving in 20 minutes. A crowd gathered. Suggestions came from every direction. Battery. Fuel line? Call the dealership. But no one could fix it. Near the service gate, a mechanic in oil-stained coveralls had been unloading tools from an old pickup truck. His name patch read Sam. He had come only to deliver equipment for the estate's maintenance team, but the commotion caught his attention. He walked closer, wiping grease from his hands. "Mind if I take a look?" Several guests exchanged amused glances. Evelyn looked him up and down, muddy boots, dirty sleeves, rough hands. Her expression hardened into a smirk. "You?" she asked. Sam stayed calm. "Cars don't care about bank accounts, ma'am." A few people chuckled. Standing behind Evelyn was her daughter, Clara Hawthorne. Unlike her mother, Clara looked curious rather than judgmental. She studied Sam with quiet interest. Evelyn folded her arms. "Fine. Entertain me." Sam opened the hood and listened carefully as someone turned the ignition. He didn't rush. He touched a cable, checked the carburetor, then paused. Something felt off. Then Evelyn laughed softly and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Tell you what, fix my Rolls-Royce and I'll let you marry my daughter." The crowd burst into laughter. Clara's face flushed. "Mother!" But Sam didn't react to the insult. His eyes had locked onto something hidden deep near the engine compartment, a small metal box. And inside it, an old sealed envelope. That's when he realized this wasn't just a broken car. Someone had hidden something, and Evelyn suddenly looked nervous. Sam kept his expression steady, though his mind was racing. The laughter around him faded into background noise as he focused on the small metal box tucked near the firewall. It wasn't part of the engine assembly. Someone had placed it there deliberately. He reached toward it. "Don't touch that." The sharpness in Evelyn Hawthorne's voice cut through the air. Everyone went quiet. Sam slowly turned his head toward her. Just seconds ago, she had looked amused, almost entertained by the idea of a mechanic embarrassing himself in front of her guests. Now the smirk was gone. Her jaw was tight. "It's lodged against the wiring," Sam said calmly. "If I don't remove it, I can't inspect the ignition properly." Evelyn said nothing. Behind her, Clara Hawthorne frowned. "Mother, what is that?" "Nothing," Evelyn replied too quickly. Sam carefully lifted the box out. It was heavier than expected, old but well-maintained, with scratches along the lid as if it had been opened many times over the years. At the center sat an envelope sealed with dark red wax. The initials stamped into the wax were clear. Hey. Evelyn's hands trembled almost invisibly. Sam noticed. So did Clara. "Why would something like this be hidden inside the car?" Clara asked. No answer. Sam placed the box on the fender and returned to the engine. Now the problem made sense. One ignition wire had been intentionally loosened. Not worn, not broken. Loosened. His brows pulled together. This wasn't mechanical failure. Someone had sabotaged the car. He tightened the connection, checked the fuel feed, and asked for the key. The chauffeur turned it. The Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud roared to life instantly. Gasps spread through the crowd. He fixed it. "In 5 minutes?" "That's impossible." But Sam barely heard them. He was staring at the wire he had just secured. Someone had wanted this car to fail today. Clara looked from the running engine to the sealed envelope. "Mother," she said, voice quieter now. "What's in that letter?" Evelyn's face lost all color. For the first time, the most powerful woman in the city looked afraid. The engine's smooth rumble filled the driveway, but no one spoke. All eyes were on Evelyn Hawthorne. Clara stepped closer to the metal box, her voice barely above a whisper. "Mother, what's in the letter?" Evelyn's shoulders stiffened. For a moment, she looked like she might command everyone to leave. But something in the silence, perhaps the weight of too many years, broke her usual composure. "Give it to me," she said to Sam. Sam picked up the sealed envelope but didn't hand it over immediately. He studied her face. The pride was still there, but underneath it was something else. Fear, regret. "It belongs to you," he said quietly, extending it. Her fingers shook as she broke the wax seal. Inside was a single folded letter, yellowed with age. Evelyn read the first line and the color drained from her face. Clara moved closer. "What is it?" Evelyn swallowed hard. "It's from your father." Clara froze. "My father died before I was born. That's what I told you." The guests were forgotten now. Even the wind felt still. Evelyn lowered the letter and closed her eyes. "I lied." Clara's voice cracked. "Why?" Tears gathered in Evelyn's eyes, surprising everyone, perhaps even herself. "Because your father was a mechanic." Clara stared at her. Evelyn continued, each word heavier than the last. "He was brilliant, honest, kind, but my family hated that he worked with his hands. They said he wasn't worthy. They forced me to choose between love and status." Sam remained silent. "I chose status," Evelyn said. "I told myself it was practical. That security mattered more." She let out a bitter laugh. "Your father left this letter the day he walked away. He wrote that if my precious luxury car ever failed, maybe I'd finally understand something." She looked at Sam, then at his grease-stained hands. He wrote, "A machine doesn't care about pride. It responds only to truth, patience, and skill." Sam recognized the irony immediately. Those were almost his exact words. Clara wiped away tears. "All these years, you judged people like him because you were ashamed of what you lost." Evelyn said nothing. The truth had landed. Finally, she turned to Sam. "You knew the car was sabotaged." Sam nodded. "Someone loosened the wire." Evelyn gave a sad smile. "I did." Clara stared. "You sabotaged your own car?" "Yes." Evelyn exhaled slowly. "I wanted proof. I wanted to see whether you were chasing my daughter for money, or whether you truly had substance." Sam met her gaze, and, for the first time, the sharpness in Evelyn disappeared. "I was wrong." She looked at Clara, then back at Sam. "Your worth isn't measured by wealth, background, or appearances." Her voice softened. "I learned that too late." Clara reached for Sam's hand. Evelyn gave a small nod. "If you still want to marry my daughter," she said, "you have my blessing." Sam smiled, not with triumph, but with quiet understanding. Because sometimes the hardest thing to repair isn't a car. It's a heart hardened by regret.